Okay, boys and girls, I want to talk to you about literary elements. Now remember, literary elements are like the building blocks of a story. Now we've discussed literary elements this year several times. So let's review those important parts of a story. Now, first off, in a story, we have the characters. And the characters are the people and the animals in a story. And we think to ourselves, well, what do they say and think? What do they do? And what do other characters say and think about them? So that's important in a story. And then we have the setting in a story. Where and when does the story take place? And that affects the plot because certain events happen in certain settings of a story. And it affects the plot by creating its mood, the mood of the story. Now, boys and girls, a story, for example, like a story on a tropical island might include events that arise because of maybe an intense heat or a dangerous storm. Those things might happen on a tropical island, or you might have a big volcano on a tropical island that erupts. And so exciting things might happen because of that. Then we have our plot. A plot has two things in it. It always has a conflict, which is the problem in the story, and then we have a resolution, which is how the conflict or problem was solved. That is always very important in the story. Now, boys and girls, a story's plot is always in a certain order. There's a sequence to the story. The events are arranged in the sequence in which they happen. Otherwise, it would be so confusing, wouldn't it? It would be hard for us to follow if the story was not organized in a sequence. Now, authors may vary the structure of a story. Like this story. This story is organized by letters, just like Dear Primo was organized by characters writing letters to each other. This story, the structure of this story, is organized by letters going back and forth between Blaze and George. Letters going back and forth, okay? Now we're going to practice with exploring literary elements a little more in Dear Dragon. Okay? Are you ready, boys and girls? Yes? Okay. Well, let me get my book. So I'm ready as well. And a copy of the paper that we're doing, which I gave you, but now I put them down someplace, which is not very helpful to me. Oh, I think I put them away. That's what I did. Okay. So boys and girls, so we have just discussed the top of our paper about literary elements. So we want to go to, it says, answer the questions of our pages 192 and 193 of Dear Dragon. So that's where I want you to go. I want you to skip to pages 192 and 193. And our first question that we have to answer is, how are George and Blaze alike? How are they both alike? So let's look. Oh, you know what I should do first? I should first call up the story. So let's look at our story. Let me find our story. Here's our story. So I'm going to have to go back. I have to go back all the way to 192. No, we're almost there. Here's 192. Okay, so let's reread 192.
October 31st. Dear Blaze Dragomir, you know how to skydive? That's as awesome as it gets. My dog destroyed my fort last night. Do you have any pets? Happy birthday, by the way. I don't have mine till June. I'm trick-or-treating as a knight. We're heading out real soon. George Slayer.
Oh, you know what, boys and girls, I forgot we needed to read page 190. I'm not very on the ball, apparently, so sorry. Let's do
October
page 190.
1st. Dear George Slayer, I also don't like writing, but I'll try it, I suppose. A fort is like a castle, right? I love attacking those. My favorite sport is skydiving. I jump near Falcor Peak. Tomorrow is my birthday, but my party is next week. Sincerely, Blaze Dragomir.
Okay, and so there he is. He's imagining what George Slayer is doing, right? They're imagining what each other is doing. And that's actually what he's doing. And then let's
October 31st. Dear Blaze Dragomir, you know how to skydive? That's as awesome as it gets. My dog destroyed my fort last night. Do you have any pets? Happy birthday, by the way. I don't have mine till June. I'm trick-or-treating as a knight. We're heading out real soon. George Slayer.
Okay, so now, so we did pages 190, and then 193 is the illustration. So let's answer our question. How are George and Blaze alike? What's alike about George and Blaze? Could somebody tell me? What's alike about them? What's alike about them? Yanni, what's alike about them?
That they don't really like to write.
Okay, so they don't like to write. They both don't like writing. What else? Yes.
They both go skydiving.
Okay, they both like skydiving. Yes.
They each think that the letters that are getting to them are from the kind that they are.
Okay, so they're both what? What can we say generally? They're both, what are you guys? You're all what?
Human.
You're all humans, but you're humans and they're dragons, but you're all in, where are you right now? Where are you? Where are you right now?
In school.
At school. So kids in school are called what?
Classmates. Students.
Students. Could we say that they're both students? So we could say that they're students. So let's say they're both students. We'll say they're both students. They're both students. They don't like writing. I think we could say, to kind of sum it up, they like similar things, okay? Because they like a lot of the same things. So let's kind of sum it up, they like similar things. Because we could make a whole list of things they like that are the same. How are they different? How are they different? What's different about them? Oh. They like similar things. Juliana?
Ballsy is a dragon and George are human.
Yes, George is a human. So, and then we could say they are different. We'll just say George is human George is human. Blaze is a dragon. Semicolon there. Okay. Yes, Alice? Over the next one. Oh, sorry, am I in your way? Okay, now what do the illustrations show about each of these how these characters think about each other? Okay, Aleph,
And they're good friends.
they what?
You think they're good friends?
They think they're good friends. Okay, what else do they think? Yes, Kelsey?
George thinks that Blaze is a human and Blaze thinks George is a dragon.
Yes. Okay, so George thinks Blaze is a human. And Blaze thinks George is a dragon. And then what are we noticing about what is on the left-hand side of the page as opposed to what's on the right-hand side of the page? What are you noticing on the left-hand side and then on the right-hand side? Elisa?
So George is imagining that they is washing his cat, but what's really happening is washing his cat with a tile.
Okay, so what they imagine is on the left-hand side and what's real is on the right-hand side, right? On all the pages. So, the illustrations show what they imagine on the left side and what is real on the right. Yes. Okay? Yes. Oh, for the next one. Is everybody done writing?
Yep.
Who's still writing? Are you done yet? Are you close? Okay, you're gonna have to get it from somebody else because you're gonna have to borrow paper from somebody else because we can't wait anymore. Everybody else is done. So you'll just have to get it from somebody else, okay? Because we're not waiting for people, especially, are you done? I'm not understanding what's taking you so long. Number 3. How are the settings different? How are the settings different? Kelsey?
That was number 3. We just did that.
We didn't do number 3.
No,
We didn't do number 3. How are the settings different? That was still number 2.
okay.
How are the settings different? Or do you not want to answer that one?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, so how are the settings different? Jensen?
The settings are different because Blaze lives in the forest, and George lives in the town.
Okay, so Blaze lives in a forest. Blaze lives in a forest. George lives in a city or town. Okay. Number 5, how does the author of this story use settings in the same way that the author of Dear Primo does? What do you think? Thomas?
Can I go to the bathroom?
Oh. What do you think?
Well, they both use letters.
Okay, but that's not the setting. We want to know about the setting. How does the author of this story use settings? Avery?
They both live in like different places and they haven't met yet.
Okay, but yes, that's true. Elisa?
They both get to meet each other.
Yes, they both get to meet each other, but we're talking about the setting. Logan?
Two people writing letters back and forth.
Yes, but we're talking about the setting. How does the author of this story use settings in the same way? Yes?
So Charlie lives in the city and George lives in the city.
Okay, so we're getting to see that they both live in the city, yes?
Okay, so well, they both show the differences on each page?
As we get to see the differences, yes?
So like, they kind of, the author kind of uses, in like Dear Primo, what Ivy said, but like Charlito, he lives in Mexico,
Okay.
and Layton's lives in the forest.
Yeah, so we get to see where the characters,
Where?
yes, we get to see where we see where the characters live. Okay, now we're gonna go to page 204 of our story. Did everybody get that? Okay, now we're on 204.
April 11th. Hi, Blaze. Skydiving and flying lessons? Wow, your parents rock. I'm lucky if my...
Oops, sorry.
April 11th. Hi, Blaze. Skydiving and flying lessons? Wow, your parents rock. I'm lucky if my father lets me bike around the block. Once the school year's over and this project is complete, should we continue writing? 'Cause it could be kind of neat. Your friend, George, May 12th. Hey, George. I'm psyched about the picnic and I can't wait to attend. Who'd have thought this pen pal thing would make me a new friend? Writing more sounds awesome. I was gonna ask you, too. I've never liked to write as much as when I write to you. Your friend, Blaze.
Okay, so how has sending letters to a pen pal changed George and Blaze? How has it changed them? Oops. I don't need that. Well, we don't need that.
Siri, answer it for us.
I don't think it's gonna answer that. Siri is not gonna know the answers. So how has it changed, how has sending letters to a pen pal changed Blaze and George? How's it changed them? Ivy, what do you think?
It made them like, it made George a new friend, and it's kind of making them like better friends.
Yes, it's made them friends. What do you think, Juliana?
They didn't like writing, but now they think it's neat.
Yeah, they like writing now, and they have just become better friends, right? They have become friends. They learned a lot about each other, and they've become friends. So let's say they have become friends. Now it says, this is the first time, this is number 6. This is the first time in the story when we see both boys reading a letter at the same time. Why does the author do this? Why do you think the author did that? Jensen, why do you think the author did that?
I think he did that.
What do you think? Got any ideas? Not really. Yeah. Teddy, why do you think the author did
The
that?
last letter that they each wrote before the picnic.
Because it's the last letter each one wrote? What do you think, Ivy? Okay. Why do you think they did that? Why do you think the author did that? I know we really have to think a lot about these stories, don't we? More than we probably wanted to think about them. We're really delving deep into the story. What do you think? What do you think the author's showing us? Avery?
So that we can like see what their reaction is.
To see what the reaction is? Yanni, what do you think?
Showing how similar they are.
And they become what?
Friends.
To show that the pen pals have become friends. To show, once again, to show that they have become close, they have become good friends. Okay, so we're going to write to show the pen pals have become friends. And then, how can we tell they like each other? How can we tell they like each other? Libby, how can we tell they like each other?
Because when they were writing a note,
On this page, how can we tell they like each other?
George said, George asked whether they wanted to continue writing after he had everything.
Yes, that's one way. They want to continue writing. They want to continue writing. That's one way. You think they're going to continue writing in rhyme? Or do you think they'll just write regular letters? Or do you think they'll continue to write in rhyme, I wonder? Kelsey, what else? How else can we tell that they?
On page 205, Blaze says that I've never liked to write as much as when I would like to write you.
Yes, Blaze enjoys writing. Blaze enjoys writing. We might also have a clue in the illustrations. Look at the illustrations. Look at the illustrations. Olive,
They're smiling.
the pen pals are smiling. Remember, we should always be looking at the illustrations as well, yes?
It says on both the cards, it says your friend George or your friend Joyce.
Oh yeah, it's signed your friend. They signed the letters your friend. The letters are signed. Nice. Yes, Olive?
In the illustration, they both have bags.
What do they both have?
Bags.
Oh, they do both have bags. Very similar kind of backpacks. Now, number 8. How is Blaze and George's friendship similar to the friendship between Carlitos and Charlie in Dear Primo? How is it similar? What do you think, Logan?
They're both friends.
Okay, they both are friends. What else? Avery,
They both never seen each other before.
they had both never seen each other, yes?
They both live in different places.
Okay, so they both live in different places, yes?
They all they're all happy to be friends.
They're happy to be friends. Juliana,
They both write letters.
they both write letters, yes?
They all go to meet their friends.
They got to meet their friends. So I'm gonna have to go to the next page. So let's say that is number 8.
Yeah.
So they became friends by writing letters, right? Somebody said that, I thought. They became friends by writing letters. Okay, so that was one thing that is the same. They all became friends by writing letters, and they both were excited to meet each other, right? They were all excited to meet each other. They were excited to meet each other at the end. How come people are at the end of the story? You guys cannot have finished writing this because I just finished writing this at the end of the story. Gosh, we did a very in-depth analysis of this story, didn't we, boys and girls?
There was a lot.
There was a lot, and we just reread like 4 pages of it, and it was a lot.
Can you put a song on it?
Yeah, you could put a pumpkin on it or a bat for Halloween.
Home folder?
And then that would go in your home folder because we did this one together, boys and girls.